What's up, everybody? This is Steve from Bloom Audio. Today we have the iBasso DX260. DX260 follows up on the DX240 with some upgrades to the look, the feel, and the sound, all without raising the price. So how does DX260 stack up to the rest of the current iBasso lineup and some of the other high-end players out there? Let's take a closer look. Well, when you look at some of the older iBasso players, they did use more metal, had some interesting angles and other sort of accent elements to the look. The 240, 300, 320, 160, and 170 are all basically just simple, solid color players. DX260 brings us back with an aluminum frame with just some stylish elements to it and a really solid feeling build all around that goes with that. They've also added an easily removable back cover. You just have a couple screws and that pops right off, which enables you to service some aspects of the unit yourself. For example, if you love this and 5 years down the road the battery's dying, you might want to be able to replace that yourself rather than shipping that off to iBasso to have them do it. Now, one thing that is missing that's been a standard of the 200 series players is the removable, replaceable amp cards. So this just has the standard amp without any additional options. In terms of the general capabilities, DX260 feels very standard. We'll pop up the specs on the side, but in terms of the output power, their choice of the SoC, inputs and outputs, all of those things, very much in line with past iBasso players, very comparable to most of what's out on the market right now. Interface uses the same modified Android, this time Android 11, and Mango OS of past iBasso players. We'll drop a couple links to our past reviews, so if you want a more in-depth tour, you can check those out. The only thing that's added here are some changes to the filter options and how you utilize that Octa Cirrus Logic DAC. And that's where it seems like they spent most of the energy on this one in terms of upgrading it, was in that DAC design and in the upgrades to that FPGA master. It's just giving you a incredibly clean, highly detailed, highly resolving sound that's frankly incredible for the price. My first impression of the DX260 was it sounded kind of like a supercharged combo of the DX170 and 240. Very clean, highly detailed sound, leans just slightly in the analytical direction with just incredible technical performance. It really, exceeds what 240 did on that front and definitely is a big jump up from 170. Detail, the resolution, the imaging, are just all top notch here. And that imaging and soundstage, it's a lot of time what separates, those under $1,000 level DAPs from those higher $2,000, $3,000 ones. And DX260 hits you with width in the soundstage and clarity in the imaging that really feels like something that should be, maybe twice the price. Now, if you pair this with a more neutral, analytical leaning IEM or headphone, are going to end up in a more analytical, maybe slightly clinical territory with this. But I found it had incredible synergy with warmer IEMs and headphones where it really cleaned them up. Something with just a touch of potential bloat in the mid bass, maybe like a The Audio Monarch MK3. It cleans it up perfectly and gives you this incredible presentation that's really well balanced, and it elevates those imaging elements on a lot of those IEMs, in the $500 to $1,000 range, really making a $1,000, $1,500 combo feel like something that should be more expensive. Did a lot of comparative listening with the DX260 and other DAPs. I really did feel like it was more aligned with that $1,500 range in the technical performance than the under $1,000 crowd. As an example, the Astell & Kern SR35, it's a really solid player with a lot of focus on that kind of classic Astell & Kern tuning. which adds some smoothness and just a touch of warmth in there. DX260 is coming in with a more clarity, more of a neutral, better extension into the treble in that. And what's interesting is that even though SR35 has a little more presence in the low, mids, and bass, DX260 feels more dynamic then. Now, if you want that more relaxed sound, you don't want that more energetic, dynamic sound of the 260, SR35 is still a great choice there. But just in that feeling of the technical performance and the detail, DX260 is definitely a cut above. Taking a step up in iBasso's current lineup to the DX320, two feel to be on very similar technical footing, the difference being more in the tuning, the preference element, or in those additional features you get with the 320, the bigger screen, the swappable amp cards, and all of that. I think overall I preferred the tuning in the DX320, but there were elements of that imaging, particularly in the sound stage, where DX260 felt a little bit wider, maybe a little bit more three-dimensional than 320. 320 was maybe a little bit more cohesive, had a little more body to the image. But in terms of those core sound elements, it's a really close comparison here and comes down more to preference than either one having a strong technical advantage over the other. The one player that I listened to that I did feel had a clear advantage over DX260 was the SE300. There's a lot of similarities in the sound. I think SE300 does some of the things that DX260 does, just slightly better. Both have very well extended treble. The SE300, hit that extension, a little more softness with less tendency to get sharp, especially when paired with more analytical IEMs. Just a little bit more well-controlled and tuned in the upper treble there. Did think DX260 had a little bit more width in the sound stage, but SE300's overall imaging was slightly stronger to me when you take the total package of the three-dimensionality, the holographic feeling, and all of that. DX260 put up a good fight, but I would say SE300 had an edge there in the comparison, especially since they're really both doing similar things in that highly detailed reference presentation. My first impression of iBasso was from players like the DX220 and 160 that provided a really strong alternative to higher priced players that didn't feel like they compromised on the sound quality and performance. So as DAP prices have continued to go up and up, DX260 feels really true to that vision of iBasso, that you can improve the performance, improve the sound quality without jacking up the price. Yeah, if you're gonna spend $2,000, you're gonna be able to get some better build quality. You'll get some improvements in the sound or something that's maybe tuned more to your specific preference. The DX260's sound and performance at the price remain incredible, and it really builds on this iBasso legacy of providing some of the best value out there in digital audio. Thanks for watching. You can check out DX260 and a lot of other great products at bloomaudio.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be back soon with more high fidelity audio content.